You know, there's been a lot of talk in the gun community lately about where loyalties stand, where people stand when it comes to supporting the Second Amendment, where it comes to being honest to your viewers. Who are you beholden to, basically? What are your beliefs? And people contact me all the time and ask me, well, what do you think this channel's beliefs is? What do you think that they are motivated by? And I always say, I can't answer that question for you. There's a few obvious exceptions, but if you really want to know where a channel stands, ask them. But when I tell people this, they say, well, we do. We ask them in their comment section, and they don't answer. Well, first off, I'll say, if someone doesn't want to answer certain questions, there's usually a reason for it. But I will give people the benefit of the doubt, saying that I know how easy it is to miss comments in the comment sections of videos. So since people seem to be aware every time I say something stupid or put my foot in my mouth, I'll ask the questions. I will actually, so to speak, call out the other gun channels. Get them to say where they stand. And if they won't, then we probably are suspect of where you stand. It's just a basic, simple series of questions that can really answer it. Because there's nothing wrong with being an advertiser. There's nothing wrong with making commercials. But there is something wrong with that if you pretend like you're an advocate, like I've said in the past. If you pretend you're an advocate for our rights, but really all you're beholden to is money, that's unfair to us. If you're selling us products that may not be great, but you're doing it for money, and you're pretending like you're not, that's unfair to us. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with making commercials. The capitalism revolves around it. But there's a reason on TV that commercials have to say, this is a paid endorsement. People were paid to give you this opinion. There's a reason that law exists, and it doesn't seem to exist on the internet. And it's really dangerous when it comes to gun channels, because these people aren't just seen as endorsing a product, and a product that could save your life or cause you to lose your life if it malfunctioned. They're not just endorsing a product, they're also de facto spokesmen for our constitutional rights. So we deserve to know where they stand. And you can do that by asking some simple questions, and I'm going to ask them here. I'm calling out all gun channels. I'm calling you out, put your money where your mouth is. I know a lot of people love to put their mouth where the money is, like backing sponsors, backing products, etc. But for once, let's put our money where our mouths are. Not to say I've never put my money where the mouth where the money is, you know, $20 is $20. But I think when I run my channel, it's pretty clear I put my money where my mouth is. So ask a few questions. Where do they stand on compromise when it comes to the Second Amendment? I'm asking these questions to gun channels. Where do you stand on compromise when it comes to the Second Amendment? Are you absolutely no compromise? And that's easy to say, but is it true? One way is to tell is, do you support the NRA? The NRA has a long history of compromise. That's what they're based on. They're basically one giant compromising organization. So you can't say I'm no compromise, but yet I still support the NRA, because you are making a compromise. You are saying, I don't support any compromise, they're compromising, I'm going to give them money still hoping they change. That's compromise. So if you support the NRA, you still believe in compromise to some extent. And there's nothing wrong with compromise. In certain situations, some people believe in compromise. So if you're one of the people that do believe in compromise, why? What do you believe in as far as compromise goes? Do you believe it's okay to give away certain rights to protect more important rights? Do you think it's okay to give away something inconsequential like a bump fire stock to get something consequential like national reciprocity? If so, spell it out for people. Let them know where you stand. Because just saying you're willing to compromise doesn't mean you're anti-Second Amendment, in my opinion. I believe a true hardcore Second Amendment supporter is no compromise, because it says shall not be infringed. But there are some people that are more, I would say, realists, who believe that you can achieve greater things if you give up things that don't matter. But explain it to us. Let us know where you stand. And as far as the big topics go, where do you stand on those? Where do you stand on national reciprocity? Do you believe if a person has a right to carry a gun in their state, they should be able to carry it in every state? Or do you not believe that? What do you feel about UBCs, universal background checks? Do you think they're a good idea? Or do you think private individuals should be able to sell to other private individuals with no background check? Another aspect of sales would be 10-day waiting periods. Do you believe in waiting periods at all? Do you think they serve a purpose? Do you think that they're useless? What about the 4473 in general? Do you believe in background checks at all? Or do you think they're just a surrendering of our rights with nothing in return for it. Because if you believe that, say it. What do you feel about felons getting their gun rights back after they've served their time? Another big one. How do you feel about people who use marijuana in states where it's legal, owning or carrying a gun? Let's hear where you stand on that. A lot of these questions have nothing directly to do with other things. They just kind of give people an idea of where you stand. And another big question that gives people an idea where you stand. How do you feel about full autos? Do you agree that full autos should be regulated? Or do you think that everyone should just be able to buy a full auto at the corner store if they want to? Or somewhere in between? Let us know how you feel about these things. Knowing how you feel on topics lets people know how big of an advocate you are for their version of the Second Amendment, their opinions on the Second Amendment. Because a lot of us are no infringement at all. But I'm willing to give some leeway to people that can make a responsible argument for why they feel the way they feel. I won't agree with them, but at least I can respect them more. And while we're at it, where's your money come from? What is your financial motivation behind your channel? Do you take money from manufacturers? Do you actually accept paid product placement? Do you say, give me this much money, I'll give you a good review? That's where we're getting back to that whole, it's okay to make commercials as long as people know they're commercials. Just like, this is a paid endorsement. Nothing wrong with it. It's capitalism, but in fairness, you should let people know. Do you get paid by the NRA? Do you get paid for recruiting? Do you get paid for promotion? Do you get paid for anything? Because if you're out there spouting positive NRA stuff and you're getting paid for recruitment, etc., or taking a check to do an interview with Chris Cox, that other people turned down that check, well then we know you're just a shill. So we need to know, are your values, are your principles for sale or not? Do you have a price tag? Because once you put a price tag on yourself, it doesn't really matter what that price is or what you're selling. You've already established you can be bought for one price or another. So we need to know, do you actually do it? Do you take free product, just free product? I think all of us, all gun channels take free product. But do you take massive amounts of free product, like someone saying, hey, we'll give you 10 free of this AR or 10 free of this pistol, like Century Arms did to pretty much all of us, offered us this offer. Some people took it, some people didn't. Do you take that? And do you take checks to say, hey, I carry a Canik now, or hey, I carry this gun now, like some channels I know do? So just let us know, where's your money come from? Or are you 100% crowdfunded? Do you make all your money off of, used to be monetization on YouTube paid a lot of our expenses, but it doesn't anymore. So now it's even more important to know where money's coming from. Or are you crowdfunded? Are the people paying for your channel the people watching your channel? These are all very important questions to know where people stand. And no one's got to answer these questions. But if you don't want to answer them, we have to wonder why you don't want to answer them. So I know you hear me. I know you're aware of me. I know all the big channels are aware of me. Believe me, it's been very clear to me over the last few weeks that all the big channels are aware of me. They know what I say. They may not respond, but they hear it. So I know you're hearing this question. So if you've got any integrity, or if you even feel like you want to be involved at all, if you feel like this matters, if you feel like it matters whether your viewers understand where you're coming from, answer these simple questions. And you as viewers take these questions and go put them in their comment sections. Eventually they'll see one of them. Because I think it's about time, like I said, that in this industry, instead of just giving everybody, a fair shake and giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, we start figuring out who puts their mouth where the money is and who puts their money where their mouth is.